How's it going, everyone? My name is Derek Afasi. I'm the owner of Afasi Financial Group. And today's topic, I want to discuss with you 401k for dummies and kind of explain to you the pros and cons of a 401k account. And then kind of what is the alternative to it? Exactly if you've accumulated money in a 401k, let's say you left employer and you want to essentially roll that over, how to do that. Let's say if you're placing X amount of dollars into a 401k account, where exactly do you designate the dollars that are beyond what the company is matching you? How exactly can you make sure that you're utilizing the smallest amount of retirement dollars possible to give you the largest benefit, and some different types of financial avenues that you could do there? So, I really wanted to just go very slow with this video and really help educate you guys because, unfortunately with 401k accounts, it's you just start up with a company and they give you an employee benefits package and everything looks like alien language. You don't necessarily understand it, and there's not enough avenues to really help you. So, I think that you should at least find some value in this, and let's get started. What happens is you work for a company and they offer you some sort of retirement plan. Okay, that's essentially what a 401k account is. It's a retirement plan. Every year that you work, you have potential to place more dollars than other years, or just any sorts of premium dollars into that retirement plan on an annual basis. The way that this money grows, and kind of think of it as just a large retirement bucket, is you have your contributions, possibly an employer match, and so that basically goes into the bucket, and what determines whether this bucket is smaller or larger at the end of the day is based upon some sort of mutual fund related performance. And over 90% of 401k accounts offer different types of mutual funds for you. It's very, very common. So it's essentially how the numbers, the kind of the concerns that an individual has is, okay, first off, what is a 401k, which we understand is just a retirement account. It's money that you're deeming set aside for retirement. Okay, how much can I contribute into this plan? What's exactly my number? What exactly does an employer match? What the heck does a match even mean? And then on top of it, how do I know what sort of funds to choose? So let's just go over through the basics, and then we'll kind of touch up on those questions. Now, kind of the benefits of a 401k plan is something known as tax deductions, tax deductible contributions. What this means, and don't try to overthink this. What a 401k account is, it's something known as a qualified retirement plan. It's qualified through the IRS, qualified through the government as a retirement plan, meaning that if you contribute money into that plan, you get a tax deduction, a tax write-off on your adjusted gross income at the end of the year. So if you, let's say, made $100,000 that year, and you place $10,000 into your 401k account, you would be taxed as if you only made $90,000 that year. You get that tax deduction now. So understand, that's a tax deduction, tax deductible. And the reason why they allow you to do that is because it's known as a qualified plan, or something known as pre-tax. You might see those words used interchangeably. The very next thing is it grows tax deferred. Okay? What that means is the amount of money that you contribute into that plan, possibly the amount of money that's matched in there, and then whenever you receive a gain into that account or a loss into that account, this bucket allows you to just basically grow. This bucket will grow, will grow, will grow. And it's not as if anytime you have a gain, it's not as if you have to pay instant taxes on that gain. It essentially allows the power of compound interest to work in your favor off of something known as tax deferred growth. Remember, tax deductible now, tax deferred growth now. But if you kind of see where I'm going, is this is going to be fully taxable later, and that's where it can really hinder your retirement accounts. So the last pro that happens with these sorts of accounts is you might be offered something known as a match, a 401k employer match. One of the largest misconceptions that happen, and it's probably 9 out of 10 times, is when I say, okay, well, you said you were offered a match. What exactly is that number? And the individual will tell me, they say, 100%. I could basically put in any number I want to, and my company's going to match me. And that is wrong, okay? Typically, companies, they give you a match between 2 to 5%. More recently, I've seen matches go completely by the wayside, not even offer a match. Maybe it's 1% if the person's lucky. What this means is you understand working for this company, you have access to this 401k account. You have access to now choose those mutual fund related fees within that account. So you're placing money in there, and the company's going to tell you, listen, we'll give you 100% match up to, and we'll just use a hypothetical example, up to 3%. So what that means is, let's say if you're making $100,000, the same example, and you put $3,000 into that plan, the company will match you $3,000. So now you have $6,000 that's working in your retirement bucket. Very, very good. It's free money. Now, the monies, let's say if you go and you put in 1%, which is $1,000 into that plan, but you had a 3% match up to 3%. Does the company give you the full 3%, $3,000? And the answer is no. The company will match you up to that amount. So let's say if you put in $1,000, they're going to match you $1,000. You put in $3,000, they're going to match you $3,000. So this is all based upon 3% of 100,000, 1% of 100,000. Now, what happens if you put 10% of your money into there? You had 100%. They're basically placing 100% up to a 3% match, and you put 10% in there. So what'd you do? You put $10,000 in there. How much money is the company going to place into your account? Very simple, $3,000. So you have to understand exactly these different types of scenarios that you are essentially, what you want to do is leverage how much up to that match, because now you have favorable, they're basically giving you free monies in there. Very, very attractive. Now, one very important thing to realize is you're going to see a certain bottom line. You're going to see maybe that 3% number, or maybe they're going to say, oh, we're going to give you a 6% match, and that 6%, but it's going to be 50% of up to 6%. So you have to see both of these angles. Is it 100% up to the 6%? Is it 50% up to the 6%? Is it 25% up to the 6%? What exactly is that percentage rate? So in that scenario, if you put in, let's say if you get a match of up to 50% of 6%, and you put in $6,000, well, the company is going to pay you $3,000. It's going to match you $3,000 into that plan. If you put in $10,000, the company is going to match you what? $3,000 into that plan, because it's only up to 6%. If, let's say, you put in $3,000, that's only 3%. Well, then the company is going to match you $1,500. So that's essentially what you have to really understand exactly what that match is to make sure that you're taking the highest advantage of that opportunity for you. One of the most important things also with a match is you might see something known as vesting. They might tell you, hey, listen, we're going to give you a 3% match at 100%, but you have to be vested with our company for at least 5 years. Or I've seen it as crazy as like 11 years that you get your full match. So they have to basically, they're kind of holding your feet to the fire saying, listen, you have to love our company and you have to stay here for that 10-year mark, and then you could keep you keep the amount of money that we were matching into that plan. So I hope that this makes sense. Please rewind this section if it doesn't make sense, but these are all the pros with the 401k account. Let's get to the cons now. And I'll pull up a new screen. The cons with the 401k plan is this is going to be fully taxable. Okay? Like I told you before, all the money that you are placing into that account, it was completely tax deductible. They understand that with the power of compound interest, this bucket could really grow very, very large. At that point in time, when you're ready to start taking that money, it's going to be 100% fully taxable. Now, one of the things that I've always, you could basically take your own opinion on this. My opinion is pretty set, but regarding the economic deficit, regarding the constant debt that we're seeing with our economy, we understand that there's certain ways that this debt has to be paid back. My main mindset is that they're going to raise tax brackets. They're going to raise it from all different angles. And I have a chart that it was pulled up from berkeley.edu. You could just put in any chart. You put in like the U.S. top marginal tax rates, and you'll see a very similar chart to this. And what we notice is these are all the top marginal tax rates throughout U.S. history. And in the 50s, in the 60s, you're seeing these largest, look how large those tax rates are. And now you see it dropping all the way down. So this is more current times. This is basically 2013. I'm filming this video around 2015. So just, please understand that this is going to be right around there as well. We had all-time high tax brackets. Now we're at pretty much all-time lows. And you can see it just by visualization. With this different economic deficit, I feel as if tax brackets are going to be much higher. So essentially, with the amount of money that's being contributed, you're getting that tax deduction now. It's not so fast because this bucket could potentially have much higher tax bracket. You could be at a much higher tax rate than when you were actually contributing into that plan. Maybe at, right now, you might be in the 30% tax bracket. And that might be based off of your specific income goals. Well, you're saying, okay, well, when I retire, I'm going to be making a lot less money. I'm going to be claiming a lot less money. Well, the amount of money that you're going to claim, and even claiming from that 401k account when you're taking a distribution, is all going to add into that bucket of taxable income. Now, what is to say that the lowest marginal tax rates might be 35% at that point in time? So even though you're taking or you're showing that you're making less money, this number could still be higher. So you could essentially be shooting yourself in the foot. Nothing is guaranteed there. Now, the other thing is you have something known as a 59.5 rule. Because this is deemed a qualified account and it's pre-tax, you have a certain rules. You had certain situations where you cannot touch with the 401k account your money before age 59.5, and or else you'll be heavily penalized for that position. You'll get penalized 10% and whatever your tax bracket is at that point in time. So let's say if you took out $100,000, and let's say you've accumulated it, you came to an oh my gosh moment. You're 40 years old and you try taking out $100,000. Understand, you cannot touch that money. If you do touch that money, the government's going to hit you with a 10% penalty tax. And then let's say if you're at a 30% tax bracket, 10% penalty and 30% taxes. If you would have tried taking out $100,000, you now owe $40,000 in penalty and in taxes. So, right there, that 59.5 rule, that means you have to wait till 59.5 to retire. Regardless of how successful you are, if you're only placing your money into a 401k account, it is going to be extremely difficult to try to retire before age 59.5. One of the most important negatives to a 401k account is you are susceptible to downward market loss depending upon what sort of allocation that you choose. 401k has a certain amount of fees. You have certain 401k related fees. You have certain mutual fund related fees that are also within that 401k account. Let's say if you're leveraging an advisor, that's a third fee. And on top of it, you have something known as downward market loss potential. And let me give you an example. You had individuals that were placing money, baby boomer generation, that I deal with on a daily basis, and they were placing money into these 401k accounts. And they were placing money in. They were getting employer matches, whatever that is. And this bucket was growing larger and larger and larger. From 1980 through 2000, individuals saw over 1,000% growth in the market. Essentially, this made the mindset so spoiled that anything that they dump into their 401k account will always go up. There's no problems with it. It will always increase. And unfortunately, they were hit with a big realization in 2008. In 2008, the average portfolio lost 57%. So what that means is, if you had your money in a 401k account, and you said, okay, I want to start making a distribution. I'm looking to retire, or I just basically have my money here. I'm almost to the finish line. I see it. It's 10 years out. I basically know that I have my large bucket there. If you just took an example, let's say there was $1 million in that 401k bucket or different 401k accounts, right there, before any downward market loss, you're getting hit with the 401k related fees. You're getting hit with the second fee, mutual fund related fees, because this is put into mutual funds. Typically, the most common types of 401k accounts are offered through some sorts of mutual funds. Let's say if you don't really understand these things, you're going to hire an advisor. An advisor is going to try to charge you a 1% fee onto those accounts. So now you have three negatives that are working against you. If you hit a downward market loss, and we'll just use a hypothetical 50%, this bucket is going to take a huge drop. It's going to be much smaller. In this example of $1 million, you would have already been paying, let's say, the mutual fund related fee of 1%, or the 401k related fees of 1%, the advisor fee of 1%. That's already 2% that's coming off before any upward market movements. You get hit with that minus 50% of downward market loss. You would have lost $520,000 of your retirement portfolio that 1 year. It's very possible. This entire thing could go all the way down to zero. There are no contractual guarantees on those types of accounts. And it's so important to understand these things. Let's say if you're just like one of my clients, one of my baby boomer clients that are retiring, they're also trying to take income from these accounts. So let's tack on another 5% for income that they're trying to pull from this account. So this individual would have taken out $50,000, but they would have ended up losing $570,000 from their retirement account, all in 1 year. So it's so powerful to understand how exactly do you avoid the cons, or what exactly do you do, how exactly do you pick your correct funds, and then any amount of money that's above the match, where exactly do you place those dollars? And this is one of the things that we try to do. We try to educate you guys constantly. We try to show you different alternatives on what exactly would be the safest route, what exactly will correlate specifically with your your retirement goals, your retirement income goals, to make sure that you're getting from point A to point B successfully. One of the things, and if you're interested at all after I say the segment, please give us a call, 1-800-566-1002. We have 24/7 customer service, and basically the financial tool that I'm going to explain to you is something known as a Retire Sharp retirement insurance contract. Now, what this is it's set up it's a properly designed cash value accumulation policy that is set up specifically for an individual that wants to produce some sort of tax-free income either during their retirement years or prior to their retirement years. So with this sort of plan, there's no max contribution limit onto these plans. With a 401k account, you typically have a max of right around $17,500. There's different variations every year. But if you're, a medical doctor, you're somebody that's making a lot of money, that you want to place much more money into this. You want to place, hundreds of thousands of dollars into it, $20,000, $30,000 into a plan and get the best benefit from it. You could essentially place it into one of these Retire Sharp retirement insurance contracts. What the money does is it's going to grow tax-free. It's going to be able to leave a tax-free death benefit. Right now with your 401k account, any amount of money that you place in there that's in there, whenever it goes to your beneficiaries, that's going to be 100% fully taxable. So you have a tax-free growth, tax-free death benefit. There's no 59.5 rule. So for individuals that are younger, they understand, I don't want to wait till age 60 to retire. I've already been as successful as I possibly can be. I want to retire well before the age of 59.5. How exactly do I do that? And the most important aspect is we're eliminating downward market losses. Like I've mentioned to you before with reverse dollar cost averaging, you have mutual fund related fees, you have advisor related fees, you have downward market loss potential. With these types of plans, we utilize something known as indexing strategies, which allows your money to grow within that account, allows to have a floor of 0%, because we're leveraging top-rated insurance companies that offer these sort of contractual agreements. You have a floor of 0%, but you also have cap rates. These cap rates are high. They're roughly about 14, 15% in a given year, meaning that whenever the market goes up, let's say the market goes up to 20%, and you had a 14% cap, you would gain 14% into your account. Let's say if the market loses 20%, in that 401k account, you would have seen that big loss of 20%. This you would have received a credit of 0%. So it allows you to have that consistency every single year, making sure that you're leveraging the power of compound interest to always have that positive effect at all times. Now, the very last aspect of it is the amount of money that you're going to pull from this account will be 100% tax-free. So you have to understand exactly how these things are set up. If you are interested on exactly an alternative for your 401k, remember, my first recommendation is definitely find out what your match is, because that's free money. There's not a plan out there that's going to be able to offer you something that's going to give you the free money. So I always say, okay, if you understand that your number is 10% that you want to contribute to your retirement plans, and you have a match of 2%, well, you could go and place the 2% into the 401k accounts, get that match of 2% into the 401k accounts, or whatever that percentage is, and you could then utilize 6-8%, and you could place it into a retirement insurance contract to understand that you're going to have the tax-free accumulation. You're going to have a tax-free lump sum death benefit to your beneficiaries. God forbid something happens to you. There's not going to be a 59.5 rule. We are eliminating downward market loss potential while still allowing you to participate in upward market movements, eliminating this advisor fee, the mutual fund related fees, and the downward market losses. And when it comes time for that, for when you want to actually start pulling income for that, you could leverage this in a tax-free manner. And one of the different things, you could look at different videos out there. It correlates a lot to arguably, one of the most notorious tax advisors out there. We are not a tax advising firm. We do not offer tax advice. But you could even look up. There's an individual by the name of Ed Slott, and he's arguably one of the best tax advisors of all time. And he is a huge advocate of these types of plans. Reason being is because he understands exactly how you could leverage the proper ways to grow your money, to basically grow your money tax-free, take out your money tax-free, and also allow yourself to leave a tax-free death benefit in the process, and allow yourself to utilize those indexing strategies where you could gain those upwards of double-digit figures in a given year. So, if this is interesting to you in any way, I want to thank you very much for first watching this video. I hope that this has helped you out. And give our 1-800 number a call. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. 1-800-566-1002. We are accredited with the Better Business Bureau. It's because we try to provide as much free education as possible. We want to make sure that you're comfortable. And, hopefully we can help you out. If a retirement insurance contract might be ideal for your specific situation, then obviously, we can make those recommendations and see exactly, what route to go. But, one of the things is you're going to get very unbiased opinions from us. We're an independent agency, so we offer all the top companies out there, and the top strategies and the top plans for you. So thank you very much. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel so you get the most updated videos, and thanks for watching.